Hi, I'm Torin Casani with the Kuykendall team at Keller Williams, and I'm here with Gerry Bayfield with Pillar to Post Home Inspection. We're going to ask a couple of questions about the home inspection process, how that goes, and inform the general public. So, Gerry, Pillar to Post, it's your company. When did you start Pillar to Post Home Inspection?
Pillar to Post here in Reno, we opened 4 years ago. I was a construction manager for 35 years with Washoe County and UNR, and decided after 35 years it was time to do something fun involved in the real estate market.
Awesome. Have you ever been a realtor or just went straight from construction to home inspection?
No, I was a developer. I built houses on top of working for the government. I built spec homes from 1985 to 2005.
So, always staying busy. I guess you get a little bit of time for yourself running your own company.
Right now, just a little bit. We're very busy.
Well, busy's not a bad thing. So, a home inspection. A home inspection takes place after a buyer writes an offer on a home, and there's a short inspection period. Varies anywhere from 3 to 10, sometimes more days. And it's your job to go in there and take a look at the house and find any issues that the purchasing clients may see and that the sellers may have not found within the house. Can you walk us through that process?
Basically, what we're really there to is to educate the buyers on what they're purchasing. It's an education process to make sure they understand what type of a home that they're getting into, the general overall condition of the house, and bring up any important issues that might affect their investment and help them feel comfortable in the process of purchasing the home.
Okay, and I know you guys have a few cool tools. I see some home inspectors putting on special boots, big flashlights, lots of cameras. You guys put together a pretty comprehensive report when it comes to that, pictures and detail really every part of the house for the clients.
You bet. A home inspection, Pillar Post is the largest in North America. There's 700 franchisees across the U.S. and Canada. Ours is a 1,600 point home inspection. Sometimes it doesn't look like that, but that's what the guys are looking at, my guys, when they're out in the field taking a look. Full electrical systems, full mechanical systems. Even though we're not a pest contractor, we're looking at all the pest issues, what's going on in the crawl space, the complete structure, the roof. We do full roof inspections. The attic, all the plumbing components inside. We're looking for everything. It's not an architectural punch list. It's a real inspection for structural, mechanical, electrical items.
Any type of error that may cause the house to function improperly.
Exactly.
Awesome. So speaking about that, you've got 1,600 points to cover, which is quite a number looking at any house. What do you think are some of those major points, maybe say the top 3 largest errors you find when inspecting a house?
The biggest thing that we find when inspecting a house is usually not the things that people see. The structural settlement in our area, Reno Sparks, isn't overly common. Every once in a while, maybe 1 out of 50 homes will have some sort of significant structural settlement that can usually be repaired by a structural contractor. The main things that we do find are electrical violations that are safety problems, mechanical things with the furnaces, a lot of things that the general public doesn't see in their home, and plumbing issues. So you take a look at those 3 systems, the internal parts that the people don't get to see. That's it. The biggest minor thing that comes up most of the time is windows. Windows create people a lot of problems, and you really have to take a good look at the windows.
Okay, so it sounds like the 3 things that most contractors don't want to do, electrical, plumbing, and HVAC, are where the errors come in. So you heard that. Make sure that if you are doing some repairs, have that plumber, that electrician, or those HVAC teams really button things up tight for you.
Yeah.
And so, let's see, that minor repair you mentioned?
The minor repairs
was the windows.
Windows can be a significant repair, but most of the time we find windows are one of the biggest things that we find people don't see, and they have problems with them later. Failed seals, window ballasts that don't open and hold windows open properly, windows that don't lock properly, which is a safety concern, of course. And then gaps around the exteriors of windows and things like that. Those are the big things to look at. windows can get kind of spendy if they're not properly maintained.
Right. So I read an article on windows the other day in the Realtor magazine, and it was talking about a window is essentially a hole in the wall, and you can have a decent hole in the wall, or you can have a little bit better hole in the wall. And so with that said, the article I was reading was mentioning that a lot of people believe, you know, spending a lot on windows is going to save you a lot on your electric bill, but this article was leading me in the other direction, saying it didn't really. What are your thoughts on that?
A good thermal window will save you money. It also gives you peace and quiet. If older single pane windows have no energy savings and they have no ability to reduce noise from coming into your house. So yes, windows are really important. A good window will save you money over the long run. Replacing windows, older windows, a few at a time is probably a good idea. Your ROI, return on investment, on replacing a whole house of windows will take several years.
Sure, of course. So you didn't mention anything about mold or water damage as sort of those top issues. I know this winter we had this year is kind of an anomaly. We had a lot more rain, a lot more snow, a lot more wetness this winter than previous ones.
Water damage is significant. This year we had a lot of water underneath houses. Probably 8 out of 10 houses it's still in March were wet underneath. Water underneath the house doesn't always equal damage. It does need to be remediated. Here in the desert, we tend to think water underneath the house, oh, we have a problem. But we have to realize 75% of the world is built right next to the water. So I don't get overly excited when I see water underneath the house. I like to see it when it gets out. But you really have to, it has to be underneath there with the proper ventilation. If it's under there with proper ventilation, it can be remediated pretty easily. It's when it doesn't get ventilated and it doesn't move is when you start to see mold and fungus issues.
That totally makes sense. Well, cool. That about wraps up most of my questions. I've got one more for you. What do you think the worst or funniest problem with the house you've seen in your years as a home inspector has been?
The worst problem I've seen is probably cats left underneath the house.
Oh,
That's one of the worst problems I've ever seen. And
don't let your cats go under your house.
Don't let your cats get underneath the house. Some of the funniest things I've ever seen in a home inspection are usually the things that homeowners do, and I'm guilty of it myself, what we do to our own homes when we're getting them ready to sale. And my advice to people is just get it ready for sale and have a good inspector come and inspect it, or have an inspector do a pre-inspection for you.
Let the professionals handle it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, great. Well, Gerry, it was a pleasure meeting you.
It's a pleasure meeting you
Thank you
too.
for the interview. And if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call, send me an email. We can talk to Gerry as well. And thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
You bet, man.